Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Digimon Adventure 2020, episode 38. So, last time, Mimi started a union and basically said hashtag workers' rights. She helped some Gatsumon and Golemon free their mountain and protect themselves, because this enemy Digimon, who I can't remember the name of, was actually eating eating some of the Digimon here, which is really fucked up. But we've seen this happen before in the series, so it's not like it's new to this series. Wanted to try to find a different way to say that, and I failed. So we're just gonna see what we have in store for this one. Continue along our way and hope for the best. I don't know what to expect, but we'll see. And hopefully it's good. Hopefully we continue this streak of quality. It seems like we're kind of reuniting with the group right now, and I'm hoping we get to an actual, like, plot soon, because it's like, there's the entire thing about, I think it's Millenniummon or something like that. There's the entire thing about, I'm just going to say Millenniummon's return, and them having to stop it, but we've gotten really nothing else about that, because it's like, the group just keeps getting split up and having to reunite and having to deal with a bunch of Digimon kind of on their own. And it's like, that's fine, but at the same time, it's like, I want there to be like an actual ongoing plot. See, that's one advantage that the original Adventure series had. It had these separate arcs that each had their own ongoing plots that just kept building and building. In this, we don't really have that. There's a lot of things that they just straight up changed. And because of that, we kind of had that going on with the Devimon plot, but then after that, it's pretty much just, and even a lot of times before that, a lot of it has just been random traveling around and, again, getting separated and reunited all the time. Like, that's happened a lot. Like, I think it's happened 3 times where they've gotten separated and had to reunite. And it's like, it's fine, but I want more, you know? I want there to be more of a through line plot that connects things and that makes it come across as just less episodic. Like, I'm fine with having certain episodes be episodic. The original series definitely had that too. But I want overall there to be connected stories. See, this is one of the biggest reasons why I love One Piece so much. Because even though One Piece is almost 1,000 episodes long now, or just over 1,000 chapters if you count the manga, everything is connected. And not just everything from, like, oh, this arc back going way into the future because there's all this foreshadowing. No. I'm just talking like within the arcs, they're all so separated but connected at the same time. They all have their own stories, but they continue with that story. And it's like currently and continuously going with that story. Even though some episodes may not be super relevant to everything happening, some episodes may seem to have a little more filler content. But overall, it's still like continuing the focused plot of the arc. And that's what I like. I like having that focus. And there's nothing wrong with some episodic stuff, but it's like if it gets too episodic, for me at least, it doesn't invest me. It's because of ongoing stories that I keep wanting to come back to shows. When it's so episodic, I don't really have that connection. I don't really have anything that like makes me like go like, oh, I need to see what happens next. You don't get that with episodic shows because it's like it doesn't really matter because none of it's going to carry over. Um, that's why it's like shows like Pop Team Epic just didn't do it as much for me. I mean, there's other reasons too, but and I'm kind of surprised that Nichijou did much for me. I love Nichijou, and it's kind of surprising because it's very episodic. And although there are some things that connect with previous skits and whatnot, it's still like very much its own thing each time. And there's multiple like skits, multiple segments in each episode for Nichijou, so it's surprising that I like that one as much as I did. But yeah, I'm hoping they get back to something soon because I'll be honest, even with as good as the last episode was and everything, I'm starting to remember like kind of some of the reasons why I wanted to take a break on this in the first place and why it was starting to wear down on me. I need something more. I need something to hook me in, at least to make it worthy of a reaction series. Like I might be able to make it like I might be able to manage with watching on my own time, but if it's just going to be constantly episodic, it's not going to be entertaining enough to make me excited to get to reacting to it, and it's going to bog me down. So I really hope that it gets back to an actual plot soon, and not just like these like episode of the week things, because they just don't do it for me as much. And that's kind of why I really miss the fact that we didn't go into Myotismon after Devimon. We just kind of just started doing random shit and building up this Millenniummon that's probably not even going to be relevant till the end of the series. Hopefully, I'm wrong on that, or hopefully, at least another villain comes along that they can focus on before that. But we'll see. We'll see. Because I really don't want to drop this again. Because at this point, like, well, I mean, I say drop it again, but I don't want to drop this in lieu of watching it on my own time. Because at this point, that would be what would happen. I mean, I might like there might be a point where I would put it on hold, but if it got to the point where it just became too much of a slog to get through and I just wasn't feeling it anymore because I had nothing to hook me into watching more and more, I would drop it, and I really hope that doesn't happen. Because I really do enjoy this series, and there is a lot I love about it. There's a lot of big changes that they made that really impressed me, but the problem is they kind of veered away from that stuff. And now it's just so since Devimon's defeat, it's just kind of veered off into random bullshit each week. And again, the random bullshit can sometimes be very good, like last week's episode. But yeah, it's just, I'm worried. I'm concerned. Because I just don't want it to end up becoming something that I just end up not liking. Or something that just ends up, I end up losing interest in. Because that would suck. I really want it to get back to a focus again soon. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, we're just going to get this started, hope for the best, see what we've got in store. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, Everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this episode, I would say, is pretty much the epitome of an episode that tried to do way too much and tried way too hard to be as creepy as possible, and just did not work, in my opinion. Like, yes, it was creepy. It was really interesting in that regard. But it was trying so hard that it just ended up coming across as like a little goofy at the same time, if you know what I mean. It kind of felt forced. It felt unnatural. You see all these other shows that have done horror themed episodes or stuff like that. Like, for an example, Samurai Jack has the episode Jack in the Haunted House. Phenomenal episode. My favorite episode of Samurai Jack. But the thing is, it fits within the world of Samurai Jack, and it just comes across as like it kind of makes sense. It works. It feels like it fits. This does not. Like, yeah, we've seen creepy Digimon. We've seen Digimon do some creepy and terrible shit, but this is just like with the religious imagery, with the hellfire and shit and everything. It's just like, my God, this does not fit. It's trying so hard and failing. Because it's putting forth all this effort into this religious imagery because of Mephismon, and it's like it's trying way too hard, and it just comes across as unnatural. And then the stuff with Joe, like I know that they're the chosen ones. I understand that. But the fact that Joe somehow used some kind of magical power to turn all these enemy Digimon on their side by chanting information he's read about in his school books, it's stupid. It does not work. It's not funny. It's not interesting. It's stupid. Because it's like, Joe, yeah, again, I get it. He's a chosen one, but he should not be able to do something like that. Just randomly, especially. There is nothing to tell us that he should be able to do that. It literally comes out of nowhere. It feels like a Deus Ex Machina, honestly. It feels just like a complete ass pull. The only really good thing about this episode is the focus on how Yamato and Gabumon originally met when Gabumon was Tsunamon, and how they connected through the fact that they were willing to sacrifice their safety for each other. That they were willing to put themselves in danger for the sake of helping each other. I like that. That's great. That's the kind of stuff especially I want to see from Yamato. But everything else in this episode that it focused on was so fucking stupid. It was just so over the top dumb. And it's like, then these other Digimon, like, they were there, but it's like they didn't really do much. These gas mask cultist creepers, all they did was like shoot with the accuracy of a stormtrooper, and that's about it. Salamandamon did more actual like damage and was a bigger threat, and even that was just taken care of super easily because of Joe's out of nowhere ass pull. And then the fact that Yamato's just able to power through the attack because of the magic of friendship, basically. And it's like, in some shows I can handle that, and even to a point in Digimon I can handle the magic of friendship kind of angle. Like, just powering through certain situations, but not that. It's like, if his friendship had made like Gabumon Digivolve and everything, and that allowed him to break Mephismon's spell, that would have been fine. That would have been good. But the way they did it with having Matt literally be able to power through an attack that he should have had no business powering through. Also, it was so hyping up the relationship between Yamato and Gabumon to such a degree that it was basically telling us, oh, you're going to get a new Digivolution here. You know, like in the same way that we got a new Digivolution for Patamon. We got Pegasmon instead of Angemon. We're going to get another new one for Gabumon now. It was very much hinting at that. And then it didn't. It just didn't. When Gabumon did Digivolve, it was just to Garurumon for like a split second, literally one attack, and then just went into Weregarurumon. Which it's like, it's fine, Weregarumon's fine, but it just felt like it wasn't delivering on what it was clearly setting up. And when this episode went so hard into everything else, it almost feels just disappointing. And the funny thing is, I don't even really think Mephismon made sense as an opponent to Yamato and Gabumon. It's like if this was like Takeru and Patamon facing Mephismon, that would work exceptionally well because, you know, again, if you're going to have this religious imagery, at least go all the way with the angel versus the devil imagery. Take having Angemon, or even go even further to like Magna Angemon, or hell, fucking bring in Seraphimon. I don't care. Do something like that to take on Mephismon. I mean, they kind of already skimmed over that, to be fair, with Devimon. So why wouldn't it would make so much sense to do it here? But instead, they had Yamato and Gabumon for some reason, and Joe and Gomamon were also there, but they didn't actually take on Mephismon at all. It felt like a really fucking weird decision. Especially since, like I said, they went so heavy with the religious imagery that it feels like a really fucking weird decision. And it just did not work for me. This episode, for the most part, just did not work for me. And it's like, it sucks because last episode I really did enjoy so much. But this one's kind of the opposite. And that's the problem with episodic stuff like this. With this series being so episodic at the moment, the issue is that things are going to feel that way. Some episodes are going to be good, some are going to be bad. Usually when a series is a lot more focused, yeah, some episodes can still be bad while some are still good, but at least it feels like there's a connectivity to it all. It feels like even when you have the bad episodes, they're still connected to the good ones. So it doesn't feel as bad, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's just, with this, it feels bad. It was not a fun time to watch. It was kind of surprising that they did all of that, but that's about it. And again, the Yamato and Gabumon like relationship stuff was good. But otherwise, I wasn't a fan. And the thing is, like, it felt like it could have been even bigger of a deal because it had to do with one of Millenniumon's shards. And that's what Mephismon was using, storing the data of these Elecmon, who had no real relevance in this episode either, by the way. They were just the victims, the catalysts for Gabumon and Matt being there. But it's like, you have the Black Crystal as well, and it's like, it doesn't seem to actually, it's like brought up once and then it's like it's never like mentioned again. It's never made a deal of again. Maybe they'll talk about it next episode, but I'm just disappointed. I'm just really disappointed by this one. Hopefully next episode will be better. Hopefully we'll get back on track, and again, hopefully we'll find an actual story again. But that really just, it soured me on things, admittedly. And again, as I mentioned in the pre-thoughts, with being reminded of like the kind of reasons why I put this on hold before in the first place, I needed to take a break from it. It's not exactly a good sign when you go into an episode like after thinking about that. That is really disappointing and really not good. So hopefully next week's episode is better. And again, hopefully they find a story soon. We'll see. In the meantime, tell me what you thought of this episode of Digimon Adventure 2020, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.